Hey everybody, it's Rachel here with Two Ears Are Better Than One, and in today's video I'm going to go through how to use your new Roger On with your processors or hearing aids. So if you haven't already watched my previous video on setting up the Roger On with your processor or your hearing aids and installing the receiver and actually pairing to it, go watch that video first, because you do have to make sure that you are properly connected in order to use the Roger On. So today what we're going to go through is how to use the Roger On and some potential use case scenarios that you can use this in. This is the Roger On, and in order to use it you have to first make sure that you charge it. There's two ways that you can charge your Roger On. The first is, as you can see, there's a little USB port on the bottom. It's just plugging it directly in with the USB cable that came with it. This is a USB-C type cable, and you'll just plug that in like so. Plug this into the wall, let it charge. It takes usually 3 to 4 hours to reach a full charge if it's mostly depleted, and the charge should last roughly around 8 hours. The other way that you can charge it is through the docking station that came with your Roger On. This docking station is designed to be plugged into your TV so that you can stream sound from the TV through the Roger On. And so in order to do that, you want to make sure that the docking station is plugged in. So you've got the USB port on the back there as well. Same cable, same charger. Plug this into the wall, and then you will just dock your Roger On like so. When it's charging, you'll see the battery indicator light up on the LED screen on the Roger On, and when it is a full battery, it's going to stop moving. Otherwise, you'll see it kind of like filling up. So that's how you know it's charging. So once your Roger On is charged and you have paired using the previous video, you are ready to use your Roger On. So the Roger On is essentially an all-in-one accessory. It is designed to help you hear better in noisy environments, as well as help eliminate background noise. So as a remote microphone, this can be used in 3 very distinct different ways. So first of all, you're going to want to turn your Roger On. There's a little on-off slider there, so down is off, up is on. You'll see it boot up, and you'll see it say Roger on that LED. So now it's on. You can see your battery indicator there, and this little icon at the top tells you what current microphone setting it's in. So when it's up, it has an accelerometer in it, so it will automatically sense how it is positioned and automatically change the microphone settings. On the front here, you'll see there's little holes. There's 3 holes here and 1 there. Those are the microphones. There's 4 mics on here that work together. When it is vertical like so, this is in lanyard mode. So there's a built-in clip on the back that is designed to be clipped to someone's shirt. Makes it super easy to just clip it on and go. You would want to have your significant other or whoever you want to hear wear it like this. You want to be roughly around 4 to 8 inches away from the mouth, so to pick up. I usually just do 4 finger lengths. That's the ideal positioning. Always want to make sure that it's kind of pointing up. You don't want them to stick it in their front pocket with the microphones down, because that's not going to work very well for them. It'll still pick up their voice, but not very well. So you can also use the lanyard that came with it, and this is just going to clip on as well. So you'll just put this, sorry, butterfingers today. See how that is set? You just put the clip through it like so. So it's clipped on there, and then it just makes it super easy to use. You can put it around, so if somebody is wearing an outfit, they can't clip it to a lapel. So that is when you want to hear one speaker at a distance or in a really noisy environment. So this is perfect for that date night when you are out with your significant other and you're in a really noisy restaurant. They can just wear it around their neck. It's great to hear a lecture or a teacher or a church or something, a single speaker at a distance. So you can get roughly 80 plus feet away and still get a good signal, depending upon what's in between you and the speaker, or the microphone, I should say. So that's the lanyard mode. Now, you can also use this in pointing mode. This is where you are going to hold onto the microphone and point it to whomever you want to hear. This is super handy for maybe a mixer party where people are standing around and you're just going from person to person and you're talking to different people. It would be great at a checkout line at a grocery store. So when you're going through the checkout line, you can just point it to the cashier and it's gonna pick up their voice and you're gonna hear them over all of the other sounds. This works at a really pretty decent distance. I would say you can probably get anywhere from 5 to 10 feet away and still get a good signal, and you might even be able to pick it up at a further distance. It's probably really good for eavesdropping, but you didn't hear that from me. So anyways, you can use this just simply by pointing, and as you can see, as soon as I put it in sort of an angle, that little icon changed to like a little piece of a pie, and that indicates you're in pointing mode. So think of it like shining a flashlight on someone. That's exactly what you're doing, except you are picking up their voice and bringing it to your ears. And then the third way that you can use this microphone is in table mode. And the only way I can show you the icon is to put it in the lock. So you see the little icon at the top there, that indicates table mode. Now the lock is because I've locked it in that position so that I can show you, because the only way that it will go into that is if I put it flat. This is designed to be used as a table microphone so that you will set it down on a table and it's going to pick up the voices around you. It does help eliminate the background noise quite significantly. And so what this is, it's just constantly seeking for voices, grabbing their voices and pulling it into your ears. One thing that's really unique about the table mode for the Roger On is that for the first time in any microphone that I know of, it is providing timing cues. So this is super cool, because what this means is when you have this sitting on the table and you've got a group of people sitting around you, old microphones in the past, they sent the signal to both ears equally. So you would never really be able to tell which direction sounds were coming from. Now, with Roger On, if you put it so that it's pointing away from you, so that the USB part is pointing towards you, it's actually going to pick up those timing cues. So when someone speaks to you from the left-hand side, your ears are going to sense that it's coming from the left. So you'll get that signal in your left ear just slightly faster than you'll get the signal in your right ear, because it's just how normal hearing works. That's how we're able to locate sounds, is that those slight different cues in how fast the signal comes into each ear. So this is really cool from the perspective that it's allowing you to pick up the directionality of where things are coming from. So that's a really cool feature. As I mentioned before that I locked it in this setting, this is a little button here that you can use to change the setting. So as I push that button, you can see it's locking in to different microphone modes. So this is now locked in the pointing mode, because you see the lock signal there, or the lock icon there. Next, locked in lanyard mode. So this is going to be handy for things like maybe you want it to be used with this particular speaker on a podium and you just want to lock it into a particular setting. You can keep it like that, and it's going to focus those microphones specifically in that setting. When you don't see the lock, it's automatic, right? So you can see as I adjust it, it shifts from pointing to lanyard, and if I lay it flat, it will automatically go into the table mode. So those are the microphone settings that you can use in the different scenarios that you can use this in. As I mentioned at the beginning, this is kind of an all-in-one accessory. So you can also hook this up to your TV and use it as a TV streamer. With the docking station, you'll want to make sure that it's plugged into your wall, but then there's also an optical port or an optical cable that you would plug into your TV's optical port. When it is plugged in, when you want to use it, you do have to make sure that you dock the Roger On into the docking station, and then depending on your TV, you should be able to stream directly through your Roger On. Some TVs do have limitations to the ability to use the optical port and the TV speakers. I have 2 different TVs. One works with both. I can stream through Roger and have the TV speakers on. Another TV I have does not give me that option, so I have to choose either or use an optical port splitter in order for other people in my household to use it. So I really like the TVs that give you the option to have the optical port and the TV speakers functional, but that's going to depend on your TV. That's got nothing to do with Roger. So you can plug this into your TV. You can also, it comes with this little headphone jack adapter, so you can essentially plug this into any accessory, any device that has a headphone jack. So you can use this with a computer, a tablet. This is super convenient. You can see that it shows the little music icon, meaning that it's connected to a cable that it can stream from. So in order to use this, you simply plug it in. You can also plug it directly into a laptop through the USB. Depending on the type of laptop or computer that you have, you can actually utilize this as a microphone. So if you're using the USB cable, not only will it charge it, but it will stream the sound, as well as you have the ability to use this as a remote microphone. I haven't tried that myself, but I have used it for streaming, and it's amazing. It also, for the first time, this is a first for Roger, it streams in stereo. So you get that full immersive experience, being able to hear the different channels in your left and right ear, as long as you're bimodal or bilateral. I think that pretty much wraps up the different uses. Oh, I forgot the case. So there's a handy little case to keep your microphone protected. So by clipping the microphone into this case, you now have the ability to keep it protected and safe when you're traveling, and to have it thrown in your bag or your purse or whatever. But this also works as a very handy little table prop sort of thing to keep it in a pointing mode. So this, when I mentioned being able to like set it on a table or a podium and angle it at someone, you can take the cover, flip it around, and there's a little slot here, and you just set it in there, and this allows you to set the microphone, and it's at almost a perfect angle to point up at someone's voice. So this is great, like if you are maybe in an environment where there's a lot of people around and you just want to hear just that one person in front of you, you can just set this up, set it in front. It's going to point at that person. You're going to hear their voice a lot clearer. There is a mobile app that you can use with this that gives this absolutely amazing extra features. Some of the things that you can do with the app is you can lock in different modes. So when you have, for instance, you're setting it in the table mode, it basically has 6 segments that it can focus on. With the app, you can lock it into particular segments. So let's say the three people over here are all talking about one thing, then you want to be in on that conversation, but those guys over there are talking about something different and you don't want to hear them. You can actually lock it in on those 3 people. And with the app, you can do it remotely, so you don't even have to be touching the microphone. The microphone could actually be at the other end of the table. You can launch your app and focus on who you want to focus on. So that's really cool. With the app, you can also go into a boost setting. So when I mentioned earlier that this has a range of about 80 feet, you can set the boost setting, and it actually increases the signal strength to almost double it. So I've used this with my riding instructor, and I've been able to hear her very clearly from clear across the arena. That's a very big, I think it's like 150 feet. So it allows you to get more strength if you need it. That would also be good in an environment where there's a lot of things that are interfering with the signal from the perspective of like a wall or a lot of people that the signal has to try to travel through. You can boost it and it will help get you a better signal. You can also set specific settings. When I mentioned that you can lock it in on certain segments in the table mode, you can actually create a custom setting for that. So let's say you play cards with the same group of people every week and you're always locking in on the same settings. You can actually create a custom mode, and that will allow you to just quickly go to it, and you don't have to constantly be changing and adjusting your settings. So I'll probably try to do another video with the app so that you can get a better idea of how to use the app with the Roger On. But this is super exciting. I absolutely love the features that this microphone has. It is really the only accessory that you would ever need. It kind of eliminates the need for anything else. And it does an amazing job of helping you hear in those most challenging environments. So I strongly encourage you to look into the Roger On if you haven't already. If you have any questions or comments, please drop me a line below. I thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a great day. Bye.